Today, recordings and discussion of whether she was screaming at Trump's lawyers to pay her for her story before the 2016 election. When Donald Trump arrived, he first commented on news of the day.
What Biden is doing with respect to Israel is disgraceful.
With President Biden vowing to withhold more weapon shipments to Israel if Prime Minister Netanyahu launches a raid on Hamas fighters holed up in Rafah, after saying his support for Israel was ironclad. President Biden making an election year move on the border crisis, planning new restrictions on asylum claims that may speed up some deportations. America is listening to Fox News.
In the News Center, I'm Stephen Stone. The South Carolina House is approving a bill to change how judges are selected. That measure would change how the legislature elects judges, expanding the amount of people in the judicial screening panel and giving the governor 5 selections. The bill would also remove the limit for qualified candidates the Judicial Merit Selection Commission can send to the full legislature for consideration and add screenings for magistrate judge candidates. The Senate passed a similar bill earlier in the legislative session, but the two chambers will now need to compromise on a final version to send on to the governor. Not long ago, allegations emerged on social media that non-citizens received voter registration forms in South Carolina, which led to a viral post and letter exchange between State Representative Adam Morgan and Governor Henry McMaster. The state newspaper reporting the issue has been viewed as a campaign tactic in the heated race for the 4th Congressional District. SLED is reviewing the allegations. Legislation prohibiting non-citizens from voting in South Carolina elections has been passed, with some questioning the timing and motives behind the controversy.
WRHI Rock Hill, W261CY Rock Hill. Good Pharmacy, Rock Hill's hometown pharmacy for over 60 years. Camden Avenue at Ebenezer Road. Straight Talk on WRHI FM 100.1 and CN2 is presented by Founders Federal Credit Union. Relax, you're with Founders. Now here's Manning Kimmel broadcasting live from Substation 2 on Cherry Road in Rock Hill with Straight Talk, selected by the South Carolina Broadcasters Association as the state's top public affairs program.
And a good afternoon. Welcome into Substation 2. Cherry Road across from Winthrop for another edition of our Straight Talk program presented by Founders Federal Credit Union. Relax, you're with Founders. Our thanks to our co-sponsor today, Anderson Griggs Investments in Old Town Rock Hill. Common sense, intelligent advice for conservative investors. You can find out more online at andersongriggs.com. And our thanks to Good Pharmacy, your hometown pharmacy, Ebenezer Road at Camden Avenue in Rock Hill. So we have a couple of interesting people here around the table representing the Housing Development Corporation. They're here today to talk about what we as a community need to do to try to help those who got clobbered by the hailstorm here a couple of weeks ago to get back on their feet. So we have the Executive Director of the Housing Development Corporation, Corinne Sferaza. I told you I was going to get this thing right. I told you I was going to get it right. And then a good old Walter Harden, who's the chairman now of the Housing Development Board. So Corinne Sferaza, tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I am Corinne Sferaza, the Executive Director for the Housing Development Corporation. I also serve as the Housing and Community Development Manager at the City of Rock Hill. I've been at the city for 12 years. I've been Executive Director for HDC for about 3 years. So originally from New York, moved down here about, it's probably 13, 15 years ago. And
best thing that ever happened to you, wasn't it?
It was the best thing that ever happened to me. Yeah.
Every time I talk to somebody who's recently moved down here, I ask them, what are the couple of things that you have noticed? Well, they'll say how friendly the people are, how low the taxes are,
100%,
and how much more house I can buy for a lot less money.
Definitely,
yes.
See,
there you go.
And Duke's mayonnaise.
And Duke's mayonnaise, that's right. Yeah, the only, I love Duke's mayonnaise. I got a couple jars in the fridge, but I keep thinking about the Duke's Mayo Bowl and how they dump all that on top of the window coach.
I don't think I'd like it.
So a little bit about the Housing Development Corporation.
Yes.
Tell me about it.
Okay, so the Housing Development Corporation was founded in 1990, and it started as the joint venture for affordable housing. This is, as I say, it's the nonprofit housing arm of the City of Rock Hill. So all our staff are City of Rock Hill staff, so we're paid by the city. All the funding we get in terms of donations or grants go directly to our programs. Our mission is to provide affordable housing opportunities for low to moderate income individuals in the city limits. We have lots of programs. We say we help people buy, fix, and keep their homes. So we have a first-time home buyer program. We have some new construction. We have some rehab, owner-occupied rehab programs, homeless prevention assistance, and we also do some programs that we have for individuals that are currently homeless. And we have some affordable rentals in the community.
So how many units when you roll all that together?
Oh, good golly. So we have 31 rentals.
All right.
We have, within those, we have 2 that are earmarked for permanent supportive housing. So those are for individuals that are experiencing chronic homelessness.
All right.
And we also have rapid rehousing funding, which provides rental vouchers for individuals. So we have a declining rental subsidy that we provide for individuals that are experiencing homelessness, and we have 7 individuals that are housed with that funding right now.
But you operate more units than that, don't you?
Say it again?
You operate more units than that, don't you? Weren't you all breaking ground here, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years ago for some new development?
Yes, so we do that, but those are for sale units.
That's right.
So, okay, you want all those numbers?
Yeah.
So we have a few. So we've done a development in Green Tree that was, I'm going to say 28 units. We did a development in Briarcliff that was another 26 units. We did Arcade Mill Village that was 28 units, and we're working on an Osceola development in Osceola and Catawba Terrace, and that's going to be another 20-something units. So
these are all units that you sell?
yes, those are for sale.
Good.
Yep, and it goes up to 120% area median income when we sell those, and they're deed restricted, so they can't be sold for another 15 years until they can be sold, but they have to be sold to at an affordable rate and to other income qualified families.
Right. So what we need to do is take what you do every day and multiply it times about 50.
Yes, that would be ideal.
And all we need is a lot of money to do that. Is that right?
Yes, like a lot more money than we have.
All right.
And a lot of the intent of what we do when we build housing is not to gentrify, but to work with the people in that area to make people have an affordable house. And then we help them with down payment and assistance, along with having classes on teaching them how to be a homeowner. You got to fix things. You got to pay your utility bills and things like that are just critically important. And it is very well received.
It's kind of like Tim Veek does
Yes,
with Habitat for Humanity.
Yep.
I mean, they take somebody and they get their sweat equity in it, and they learn all the ins and outs and how you have to pay the bills and taxes and what have you. Good. That's great. So here we are, a couple of weeks removed from a hailstorm that really did an awful lot of damage, but apparently didn't do enough damage for us to qualify for FEMA dollars. And the mayor was on the air here a couple of days ago, basically outlining, I can't remember the whole, maybe you got the numbers there. There were 50-some houses that were really bashed up that did not have insurance or something like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have a list right now. So what we're doing is, the county put out a survey for individuals that had damage due to the storm. And based on that survey, we kind of identified the families, the people that said they either have insurance, don't have insurance, or maybe they have insurance. So out of that list, we found 43 houses that don't have insurance and have a lot of damage that needs to be fixed.
All right. And what are we doing with this list?
So we are right now partnering with different organizations to hopefully get the work done. So we are assessing the houses to see what's needed, and we are doing applications to make sure. So we're sticking them through our Housing Development Corporation process, right? We're doing applications, making sure you income qualify, and then we will go out. Right now we've got 3 under rehab. So Leitner Construction was very generous, and they said they will do the labor and get materials donated for 3 properties. So they're out there today doing that. We have 6 more in the docket that another contractor has said he is willing to donate labor and materials for. So those 6 are going through the application process. Every time we have finances and the ability, we pull from the list, we get the application going, so we can start the process of doing the rehab.
So of the 43,
Yes.
how many would you say are in the queue to be taken care of, either through financial donations or labor donations or whatever, a combination of the two?
So right now, we're working on 9.
Okay.
And we are about to pull another 9 that we have some federal funds, hopefully, that we can utilize. But it's really not until we get more donations that we'll be able to pull more.
All right.
And that's kind of why we're talking.
Why we're here.
Why we're here.
So the donations, I mean, be nice if you could just write a check for $25,000 or $50,000 to take care of a couple of these, but that's not the case. We need everybody. This is kind of like a United Way campaign for housing.
Yeah, and it's not even just monetary donations. I mean, if someone's willing to get out there and volunteer their time, they want to get on a roof and they want to do some work, we're looking for that too. So it doesn't have to just be monetary. Of course, we need money to buy the materials, but it's always good to have people power too.
I know the city of Rock Hill has got a grants administrator or a grants department.
We do.
My guess is they're working on this, trying to find some pot of money somewhere.
Yeah, we do. The issue is, I'll say, with federal funding, that's typically how we manage things, is through federal funding. There's a lot of strings associated with it. We do have some community development block grant funding that could be utilized. However, once you get past $5,000 of your spending, you have to deal with lead-based paint. And it doesn't matter really what you're doing. Once you start dealing with lead-based paint, your costs go exponentially higher. So,
which means you got to scrape the paint off.
It depends.
Have it.
Yeah, you have to handle it.
Scraped.
Yeah, that's right.
Either that, cover it, encapsulate it, however you deal with it. But you have to deal with it. So. So yeah, there's funding. It's just the strings associated with it makes it more difficult and costly.
Yeah. So I guess another avenue would be the good old state of South Carolina. I know the governor has put in a request to the president. I'm not so sure that's going to go very far. You know, politics.
Even if he goes for the 1.2 request, it would be like a grain of sand on the beach.
Really?
Because we have, according to what we heard this morning, there's 85,000 insurance claims in our area that are pending.
Say that again?
85,000 insurance claims.
Now, that doesn't mean
that's cars, houses, businesses.
And most of the majority of those people have got some kind of insurance.
Hopefully.
To cover this, hopefully.
The problem is deductibles can be pretty high too. So we know that's going to come into play. We're not even focusing on that yet, but that's going to come into play eventually too.
And to really qualify for a FEMA assistance, you have to have a storm event that completely destroys 100 homes, and we only had 14. So we didn't qualify for the FEMA assistance.
But if we had 100 that were destroyed, there'd be grant funding, or would be loans again?
It would be FEMA, and I think FEMA's primarily grant money.
Yeah, grant funding.
So we got to find a workaround. That's what we have to do.
That's what we're working on.
Yeah. So the workaround is getting us back to the community.
Yes.
All right. Let me ask you: is there anything that I just did a show here with Senator Mike Fanning a couple of days ago, and sitting down there in the state of South Carolina is $1.8 billion that nobody knows where it came from or what it's supposed to be used for. $1.8 billion. This has created a great big political nightmare, finger pointing between the comptroller general and the treasurer and all this kind of stuff. Right. But there's money. There's money down there. So have we been trying to work our delegation to say, hey, can you get us some money?
I know people other than me and Walter have done that. I don't know where we're at with that, but it's been in the conversation.
Okay. So of course, tomorrow is the end of, or maybe it's today is the end of the legislative session. So, okay.
Well, Perry Sutton is the city council member that is on our board as an advisory member. And one of the comments he made this morning was that he's seen an amazing cooperation between politicians trying to get us some money in crossing party lines. And I thought that was really significant, including that's where they went to the governor. And the governor agreed to go to the president and ask for that $1.2 million.
And I'm glad to see that the city and the county are working together.
I was going to say, we're working really well together and mutually benefiting from what we're coming up with.
Golly day. Jeez. Now, all these homes we're talking about, the 43, are they all within the city of Rock Hill?
Yes.
They are. Are there others that you know of that are outside of the city of Rock Hill, or are you not aware of that?
We have not been keeping, someone is keeping track of those. I just don't have that number in front of me.
Okay, all right. I do know one thing that Chuck Haynes with Emergency Management was keeping a running total of how much people are being whacked, by this thing.
Yep.
And I actually called him. I said, here, I had, as I told you before, I had $10,000 worth of damage to my car, $53,000 to my house. So I called him and said, here, add $63,000 to the pot. And I think if everybody would do that, we'll get a higher number than this $10 million.
Well, the other thing we heard this morning was that 90% of those 85,000 claims have insurance. So you're talking, if 10% of 85,000 is 8,500 people.
Still a lot.
It's still out.
Still quite a bit of people,
That's what I'm saying. That's still a big number.
Yeah.
It's a huge number. Absolutely huge. All right, so what are we doing as far as, have we set up some kind of special fund through the Housing Development Corporation to do this?
So, we have any donation that comes in. We've had a few donations come in so far. Anything that comes in is specifically earmarked just for this project. So anything that comes in, we use just for this. We have no admin fees that come out.
100% is going to the job.
100%, staying in the community, going to Rock Hill families that need it.
Are you getting, in this project, are you getting any assistance from the large, like the Home Depots and the Lowe's for materials that you'd use to do these repairs?
So we've been, Leitner Construction has reached out. Home Depot's ready to help. I know they've said they can help a lot with veterans.
All right.
So conversations have been had, so we are getting help from them.
So we're reaching out everywhere. We can reach out.
Everywhere we can reach out,
How big is this number? What do we need to raise to do this? Don't roll your eyes, Walter.
I don't know. It's a lot. There's a lot of work.
You said 1.2 million is not enough. Granted,
no. That wouldn't go very far.
I think the hard part too is, we just started. We're going off the assessment right now, and we know not everyone's filling this assessment out. So we're still going door to door, trying to talk to people, understand the need. Do you have insurance? How can we help? We don't even have a good number yet. We're working off this. I would say it's less than we know it's going to be.
So people from the Housing Development Corporation are going door to door?
Housing Development Corporation, our city council members, Perry Sutton and Derek Lindsay, have been going door to door. Neighborhood Services with the city of Rock Hill is going out. So once you fill out this assessment, they'll go to your house, they'll do another assessment on your house to see how it is, and they'll talk. They're physically going out and talking to the residents.
And, the unfortunate thing about this storm was the worst damage was in the south part of the southern eastern part of town,
right,
where a lot of our less fortunate homeowners are.
Boy, oh boy. This is a very interesting challenge, a big challenge.
Big challenge.
And all we know about so far are these 40-something houses, and we know there's going to be more coming in that need assistance.
Yeah.
And the other thing we've done is we sent out a letter to the churches asking them to consider it on Mother's Day, and hoping that there are members within churches that'll take it upon themselves to talk this up on Mother's Day, because they can make tax deductible donations. Their membership could, and or maybe a church sponsor a roof. Sponsor one roof. But we were calling out to our churches this is an opportunity to pitch in and help your community.
And keep in mind, Mother's Day happens to be
Sunday, May 12th.
This Sunday, that's right. It's a great idea. And I hope a lot of the ministers and the pastors, whatever, get up there in the pulpit and say, look, we got to help. So it's all about community.
We're talking to y'all, so listen.
And the good Lord's listening.
And the good Lord, he knows we're talking to you. So.
And don't forget Christmas is soon. Okay.
Yes, right.
All right, we're going to take our mid-program break. Remind everybody that you are listening to Straight Talk, live from Substation 2, Cherry Road across from Winthrop. Presented, of course, by Founders Federal Credit Union, Relax Here with Founders, and by Anderson Griggs Investments in Old Town Rock Hill. Common sense, intelligent advice for conservative investors. You can find more online at andersongriggs.com. And our thanks to Piedmont Medical Center, a community built on care. You can find out more about them online at piedmontmedicalcenter.com. All right, the reason we're all here, besides this great radio program, is to tell you about Substation 2, Cherry Road across from Winthrop. We do fresh subs and salads 6 days a week, and we're trying to get a new recruit to help us here. The magical way we do it is in the white letters, and we're all going to say it together at the count of 3. The good doctor is ready. Are you ready? We're teed up. 1, 2, 3.
Slice, slice, slice. Garden, garden, garden.
Not bad. No, we'll be back after these words.
If it's 12:30, it's Straight Talk on WRHI and CN2.
There are lots of reasons why people like dining at Substation 2.
A good deal for a delicious sandwich.
Quality of the food. I get what I want. It tastes great every time.
Hit the spot, definitely. It's amazing.
I'm Charlie Ruffalo, and I guarantee you'll feel the same way after eating here at Substation 2, Cherry Road across from Winthrop.
Have you been personally managing your investment account? Are you happy with your results? Maybe you should consider hiring a genuine money manager. If you have $100,000 or more, call the professionals at Anderson Griggs Investments and see how they can help you. Anderson Griggs, 324-5044, or online at andersongriggs.com.
Emergency care close to home. The team at Piedmont Medical Center has the advanced training to handle your medical emergencies, and we're making it easier for you to access care every day. For non-life-threatening problems, online ER check-in is available at all our emergency room locations, meaning less waiting room time, more peace of mind. Simply visit PiedmontMedicalCenter.com, pick a time you want to be seen, and then wait at home while we hold your place. For life-threatening emergencies, call 911. Piedmont Medical Center, a community built on care.
When disaster strikes, one of the most important things is getting life back to normal. A little compassion can go a long way. Paul Davis is here for you. Paul Davis is committed to handling any property damage with exceptional care because what we do is about more than property. It's about people. We have the training and expertise necessary to completely restore your property fast. For all your cleanup and restoration needs, call the experts at Paul Davis Restoration at 329-1140 or find us online at pauldavisrockhill.com.
Now, parts of Western York County can enjoy Comporium's advanced internet technology every day. Thanks to the partnership between Comporium and York Electric Cooperative, parts of Western York County now have access to Comporium fiber technology that gives you the ability to stream, download, search, and conference quickly and reliably. Not only is Comporium fiber fast, it's also affordable, starting at just $49.99 per month with no connection fee. For details, go online to comporium.link/YEC to sign up for Comporium high-speed internet today.
Relax with a discounted mortgage rate from Founders Federal Credit Union without paying for discount points. For a limited time, don't pay the 1% fee and get the lower rate. And don't forget, Founders never charges for PMI or private mortgage insurance. Unlock your dream home with a great rate and a Founders expert to guide you through the home financing process. Stop by a convenient office location or apply on Founders online by May 31st to lock in your lower rate. Visit foundersfcu.com/mortgage to learn more. Terms and conditions apply. Membership qualification required. Equal housing lender.
Have you ever wondered why so many people enjoy dining at Substation 2?
I love their fresh meats and the sweet wheat bread.
The bread, their quality meats, and their prices.
It's just always a great, consistent meal.
I'm Charlie Ruffalo, and I guarantee you'll feel the same way after eating here at Substation 2, Cherry Road across from Winthrop.
Straight Talk on WRHI FM 100.1 and CN2 is brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Relax, you're with Founders.
And back we are here at Substation 2, Cherry Road across from Winthrop, surrounded by smart people from the Housing Development Corporation, headed up by the Executive Director, Corinne Speranza. Well, you know, I put that N in there, didn't I?
You did. You put an N in there. That's
Sveraza.
Perfect.
There you go. See, Sveraza. It's my writing. No, Sveraza. Okay. And then, of course, we got Walter Harden, who is the chairman of the board. So we're talking about a really critical need here in the city of Rock Hill. We've got, so far, over 40 homes that we know the people just don't have insurance coverage, and they need help. So an army is being assembled of people who are out there willing to volunteer. We need dollars to make this happen because the Fed is not there to help us. We didn't have enough, hard to believe, we didn't have enough destruction to warrant some help from them, although efforts are underway to get it. And so we need people to jump in and help out. So we can make, hopefully that churches will jump on this on Mother's Day, on Sunday, and encourage the congregations to write some extra checks. And that'll all go to this cause. And keep in mind, you mentioned 100% of this,
yes,
Corinne, is going to be going to the project. There's no administrative overhead on this at all.
Nope, no admin fee. There's no charge to the homeowner. It's all fully, every donation we get fully goes towards our programs. And if you make it for this specific, it goes specifically for this.
You mentioned an interesting idea off air. We're going into the summer months, and everybody kind of turns into a pumpkin during the summer. So wouldn't it be interesting if some of these churches decided, okay, we're going to take on this project. And we've got a lot of very well-meaning people, but we don't have any skills to do this. It's kind of like Habitat for Humanity. So can you help them out some way?
Yeah.
So,
well, we have a director of our construction, which is Ryan Powell, and
Right.
he has an assistant and who does renovations. And every summer they already coordinate student church groups, World Changers and Salkehatchie, and they line up projects which were already in the docket. Of course, there are going to be a lot extra ones now, but the more the merrier. If somebody's got a group or a group of old retired guys like me who want to come out and do something good for their fellow man in the city, there are avenues for that, and we have people to coordinate that.
well, that's now let's assume that there's some people in a congregation that want to help out, but the church itself is not able to take on a big project.
Yep.
Can they call and say, I could give you 8 hours or 4 hours or something like this
Yep.
to help out?
Oh, yeah, definitely. We always have projects that can be done, whether you are highly skilled or not skilled at all. We can, we'll get the right project for the right people. And we'll have funding to get the materials. Maybe they just want to come and volunteer their time. We can get it set up.
Okay. And again, all your contributions, whether you make them through the church or through the HDC, are tax deductible.
Correct. Yep. We are a
100%.
501c3, and we can send you a tax deduction letter.
Okay, so where do we go from here? I mean, we got to get these houses fixed.
Yep.
And it'd be lovely if we could just snap our fingers and all the money would appear and all the labor would appear, but that's probably not realistic. So we keep picking away at this? Is that how that's the approach we're taking?
That's the approach we're taking right now. So really, the goal is to get the need, to find out what the need is. So if you're out there and you're listening and you are looking to get more information and you haven't filled that assessment out with the county yet, I encourage you to go to the City of Rock Hill website. So it's cityofrockhill.com/storm and fill out that assessment so that we can get you on the list, get you identified to really see, to get that full list of what the need is.
So once the need is there, we'll know how big this problem really is.
Yeah, and how much more money we'll need to fix it. And if you feel so inclined to donate, the HDC on our website, we can take straight donations from the website. So it's hdcrh.org/donate. And you can donate right there. You can call us, 803-817-5112. And you can speak with Miss Beverly Buchanan. She will be more than happy to help you with whatever you need also.
Okay, so it's hdcrh.org.
/donate.
You got that down, Scott? That's for you. Okay, got that down. Okay. We only mention this to people with the big bucks over
That's
here.
right, yeah.
All right, okay, all right.
Hey, we'll take anything. Big bucks, little bucks. We're good.
Okay, we just got to keep beating this drum, and I hope that I know the churches have gotten a letter from the mayor.
They've gotten
which is
a letter.
great. But I think there's probably going to need to be a follow-up letter. You know, here we are.
Yeah.
Mother's Day did X. We need to get to Y.
Yeah.
What can we do within your church to make this happen?
Yeah.
You may even have to go out on the stump. You may have to say, I'd like to make a special presentation at your church on this Sunday to say we need your help. Yeah.
It may happen.
It may happen. Wouldn't surprise me.
If
But-
you'd like, let me know.
Well, I mean, you've got a couple of firebrands. You take somebody like Perry Sutton or Derek Lindsay.
Yep.
I mean, they'll show up anywhere
Yep.
and do that kind of
They've
stuff.
both been doing this.
And the mayor?
Going out.
I mean, yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. They are boots on the ground, and they will be out there.
Yeah, Perry said he had shoes in the mud the other day. He had to go to a meeting, and the lady said, "Don't walk through my backyard. It's muddy." He said, "No, I'm going to go back here and look at your damage." And he walked back there, and he had to take his shoes off.
I bet he did. They were soaked. Oh, my goodness gracious. Well, we've got a big weekend coming up here in Rock Hill. It's all about BMX. We've talked about that quite a bit. But that'll come and go. And we're still going to be stuck with this issue about getting these people back on their feet.
Yeah. Yeah, this is not going away until it's fixed. So
I always remember a friend of mine by the name of Bobby Norwood. And I'll bet you 30 years ago, somewhere when he was ahead of something, he made a comment that you don't measure the greatness of a city by its skyscrapers and shopping malls and interstate highways. You measure the greatness of a city by how well it takes care of those most in need. And I really think there's a lot to that, and we need to all ponder that thought as we sit down and enjoy, a roof over our head and thinking about others in the community that don't have that.
That's
okay,
right.
Well, Corinne, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you very much.
Walter, thank you. Good to see you again, as always. And that's going to wrap up our Straight Talk program live from Substation 2, Cherry Road across from Winthrop. Again, the number is 803-817-5112, or you can go online to HDC, right, rh.org/donate. That'll take care of that. So that's going to wrap up our Straight Talk program live from Substation 2, Cherry Road across from Winthrop. Presented by Founders Federal Credit Union, relax here with Founders, and by Anderson Griggs Investments in Old Town Rock Hill. Common sense, intelligent advice for conservative investors. You can find out more online at andersongriggs.com. Waiting for the guy to pop out of the door. There he is. He only comes out when we start to talk about what we're doing here. We do fresh subs and salads, and we do it. And we do this 6 days a week, and I want you to join in on the white letters when I tell you to say it. Are we ready? At the count of 3, 1, 2, 3.
Slice, slice, slice. Garden, garden, garden.
Have a wonderful day. We'll see you on the radio tomorrow. Bye.
South Carolina's most honored radio station. News Talk 100.1 WRHI Rock Hill. W261CY Rock Hill. The voice of York County.
An OTS media station.
Weapons with boundaries. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. The U.S. is still sending weapons to Israel, but not high-yield bombs that President Biden says he won't support to wage war in the southern Gaza city of Rafah over concerns about civilian deaths. National Security Communications Advisor John Kirby telling reporters,
an enduring defeat on Hamas certainly remains the Israeli goal, and we share that goal with them. Smashing into Rafah, in his view, will not advance that objective.
Instead, he says the U.S. wants to help Israel target Hamas leaders, prevent weapons from being smuggled into